Hey everyone, welcome to day 3 of the Tutorpreneur Challenge. So excited that you're here. Today we're going to be talking about multiple streams of income for tutors, and you'll probably notice that I'm going to get pretty passionate about this topic. I find it very exciting and thrilling to think about different ways to expand your tutoring business using skills that you already have. So let's get started. So I just want to give a reminder that today is day 3 out of 4 days of the challenge. Tomorrow is going to be the last day. And at the end of tomorrow, I have a really special announcement. So you'll want to tune in at 12 o'clock Central Standard Time and join me live for that. And again, you can catch all the replays of this challenge at mollywheatley.com/recap. I've also been putting the recap inside of the Facebook group and the workbook. So today, the workbook is already inside of the Facebook group. And if you want to follow along and do the part at the end using the workbook, then you can go ahead and print it and use it. Okay, so for our challenge, the first day we talked about how to get more clients without spending a bunch of money on marketing. And I gave you a template for that, and hopefully you've implemented that and already had some responses. Yesterday, we talked about how to tutor online with ease. I showed you the must-have items I think that you need to tutor successfully from your own home or from anywhere in the world for that matter, and the things that I think have really helped me grow my online tutoring business. Today, we're going to dive into multiple streams of income, and tomorrow we'll talk about what to include in a tutoring contract. Okay, I'm going to keep reminding you guys to find me on Instagram at Molly A. Wheatley. Instagram is the #1 place that you'll find me. I'm really active there. I post multiple times a day. I share tips and tricks. I'm really big into Instagram Reels right now. And in fact, today I think is day 25 of our 30-day Reels challenge. So every day I post a reel and I share with you a template that you can follow along and make one yourself. It's a really great way to grow your tutoring business account on Instagram and also to get to know other people. Reels are really fun, and once you get the hang of them, I think you'll love them. So find me on Instagram and follow along with our challenge, tag me, and then I'll be sure to like, comment, and share and get you some more engagement on your account. I know this is day 3 and I've introduced myself a couple of times, but if this is your first day joining us, I'm Molly Wheatley. I help teachers start a profitable tutoring side hustle so that they can use skills that they already have as a classroom teacher and make an extra $1,000 a month while working full-time. Unless, of course, you want to earn more and maybe you want to do this full-time, then I support all of that, and everything that I offer will take you either direction. I myself am a first grade teacher and I teach at a Title I school, and I love what I do. And at this point, I'm still loving being a teacher, but tutoring definitely helped with my teacher burnout and took me to a place that I never thought imaginable. I paid off my car in my first year of tutoring. I paid it off a couple years early, and now I'll never have a car payment again. And I've been able to travel, well, not a lot lately, but because of my tutoring business, I'm able to travel a lot easier because finances are not as tight, and spend more time doing fun things with my husband. So tutoring has definitely been the vehicle that has gotten me to a lot less stress. And that's why we're going to talk today a lot about multiple streams of income that once your tutoring business is up and running, that you can really start incorporating and seeing some big gains, not only with your confidence, but with your income down the road, and lay a foundation to create the life that you really want to have. And I know that is the struggle with being a teacher and with tutoring, that we don't get paid what we're worth, but with tutoring, we really can because we make all the rules. And that being said, the same goes with creating those multiple streams of income. So what are multiple streams of income? You might have heard this term before. It's kind of one of those click button type things you might see, like 10 extra ways to make money. But when you click on those posts, usually you're a little bit disenfranchised because you're like, well, great, I'm not going to mow somebody's lawn. I have to mow my own. So that's why I want to provide you with some really the background knowledge of what it is and how to get there as a tutor. So it'll be really specific to what you're doing. So what are multiple streams of income? I will tell you that if you look it up, you will find that the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. And that is because not all streams of income are created equal, and not all are equally reliant and dependable. So if you have, let's say, a full-time teaching job, that's your main stream of income, and then tutoring is another one. So then you're at 2. I would love to see you get to the point where you have between 4 to 7 and start kind of manifesting that lifestyle that you really want. But a lot of these streams of income that I'm going to talk about today are things that maybe take work on the front end, a lot of work, but then when they're created on the back end, they make money passively. So why is that important? Well, I'm assuming at some point in time you want to retire. I am assuming financial independence and freedom are tantalizing to you. They are to me. And I'm also assuming that you work really hard now and you'd like to see the fruits of your labor with less stress and more time off. So can it work for tutoring? 1000%. And we're going to get into that today and how to find those avenues that work for you and not doing what everybody else says that you're supposed to do. But first, I also want to explain what passive versus active income is. So active income is tutoring, because you're doing that, you're having to go to someone's house, you're having to get on Zoom, maybe they're coming to your home. So you're actively seeking those hours out to get paid. But they're on your own terms, so that's why it makes it better than a lot of other types of jobs. Passive would be, let's say you have an online course. You did all the work up front, creating it, so that was active to create it. But once it's created, it passively can make money for you. There are things that go into it. You know, you're going to have to sell it and launch it and all of that. But once you get all those systems and processes in place, which I talk a lot about in the Tutorpreneur Academy, because they're so vital to getting to the point of multiple streams of income, is having those systems and processes in place. Once you have them in place, then passive income becomes a real thing. And it's really great after you've put all the hard work in and dedicated yourself to it. So why multiple streams of income for you? I touched on this a second ago, but security. What would it be like to have your house paid off? I talked about paying my car off. What would that be like? Maybe you want to go to Italy and you want to pay for your whole family to go. Let's say you are part of the retire early mindset and you want to retire by the time you're 40 and be able to travel the world and do all these really crazy fun things that extra money would really help with. Creativity. I threw that one in there because I think when you start a tutoring business and you have so much passion about it, there's so many other ideas I'm assuming that you get. If you're anything like me, I get many, many ideas a day, to the point of Post-it notes all over my desk, and the creative juices just start flowing. And the more you dive into really treating your business like a business and having multiple streams of income, the more creative you'll get and the more will come your way. The more positive energy will flow your way, I promise you. And it's just fun. Like when you're doing something that's fun that you don't have to do, but you get to do it because it's fun, oh, it's the best feeling. It's totally the best feeling in the world. Okay, so what are some ways that you as a tutor can create multiple streams of income? I talk a lot about blogging. Blogging is a great way to create hype around something, maybe a product that you're selling, your tutoring services, and getting traffic to your website. Blogging, I will tell you, is a very long game. And I have a few lessons about that inside the Tutorpreneur Academy because I'm very passionate about it. And I think it is worth the time. But you just have to know that up front, that you need to be patient, follow all the steps, and it will come back to you. It just is a long game. Vlogging is just the video version of that. So if you have a YouTube channel, And you'll probably start seeing patterns now that we've done this training that I write a blog and then I will use that content on my YouTube channel and repurpose it because it reaches a whole new audience of people that wouldn't necessarily sit down to read a blog, but maybe they'll watch a video about it. That is a long game too. With YouTube, I believe you have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time to start getting to the point where you can have ads that create revenue for you. Do I think that's worth it? Absolutely, because you're giving away so much free and amazing content on YouTube and really serving your ideal customer, then they're going to be coming back to you and wanting your tutoring services because you're answering a lot of their pain points. And the more you can do that, the more free things you can give away, the more it really comes back to you. Okay, next is creating resources. And usually we think about teachers pay teachers. I do feel like that can be an instant source of income if you know how to do it. There's a lot of steps that go into it. And I have worked with some tutors on this because there's a lot of like industry secrets that people don't want you to know about teachers pay teachers because they've kind of cornered the market. But I really think there's room for everybody to have their own TPT store. And I think if you're already creating your own resources for your tutoring business, this is a perfect addition to make another stream of income. Do I think you'll become a millionaire overnight? Maybe, but if you treat everything like a long game and really have some patience, it will come back to you. So I think that's perfect for tutoring because you can repurpose things and sell them in different ways for teachers to use them. How many times have you been scrambling to put together a session for your tutoring client and you're like, if somebody just would have created this resource, I could have done it so much quicker. I've had that thought. I've actually bought some things last minute on TPT before I went to tutor. So, okay, online course. I think that is like the pinnacle of what you could do with your tutoring business. And I think I would highly encourage you to eventually go down that path. I think it is a great way to make extra money using skills that you already have as a teacher and helping your tutoring clients with whatever it might be or something that you're really passionate about. But where I would start first with that is a mini course. And I'm going to be launching here pretty soon, Mini Course Academy, because I feel like we see so many online course options out there on social media, and it's just overwhelming to people that have never created a course. So mini courses are the way to go. I've talked to a few tutors recently that had amazing ideas that they either work for themselves or they work on OutSchool, and they have like these signature little tiny courses that would go hand in hand with their bigger course that they're already teaching or tutoring in. And it's really, really cool. So something I would definitely encourage you to get into. Oh, okay. I'm going to try to answer questions better than I did yesterday. And Jill asked, does your district have a legal policy that claims copyrights to things made that would be used in the classroom and falls under your job description? I believe most contracts do include something about that. So what I've always been told inside of my school district is that if you're creating resources to use in your classroom, as long as you're creating them not on school property and on your own time, then they belong to you. But if you're creating them with school property, meaning like school computer or on your contract during your contract hours, then it could be a legal issue. So what I always tell tutors and other teachers that are starting to create resources is if you're going to jump into that, do it on your own time and then you don't have to sweat it at all. You can still use those resources in your classroom. They can't control that part of it, but they can control the way that you're creating them. So I hope that answered your question. And that's a great question. Thanks, Jill, for asking that. Okay, so we just talked about a mini course. So I'm going to give you a really good example about that because I just created one myself. As a first grade teacher, I teach handwriting. I talked about that a little bit yesterday, and I love teaching handwriting. I'm super passionate about it, which kind of nerds me out a little bit. But I got this idea to create a mini course for kids that are struggling with handwriting because a lot of times we don't get enough time in the classroom to talk about it, and they really need more time and patience. So this goes hand in hand with creating a mini course, and also teachers pay teachers resources. So I created one about handwriting. It starts from handwriting basics and then it goes right into all the letters. And for every letter of the alphabet, I created a handwriting page. Okay. So my plan ultimately is to upload each handwriting page to my TPT store once I'm done with the beta group I'm doing right now with my mini course. I'm using a lot of big terms, but a beta group is just, I've got one student right now. She's actually taking my course for free. And in exchange for her taking my course, I'm getting feedback and her mom will give me a testimonial. She's one of my students I had as a kindergartner and first grader, so it was really easy to ask her. She needed a lot of help with handwriting. Perfect match. You can charge people to do a beta group, but I felt more comfortable in this scenario with not charging her. All that to say is once that course is up and running, that will be passive income. I'm going to offer it at a pretty low price because I feel passionate about getting people to have proper handwriting. And then the other stream of income will be the handwriting pages that will be available on TPT. So that's just one idea of how you can kind of create one epic thing that turns into other little things. And now that I've created one mini course, I'm just like a buzz with ideas. So I'm sure you're probably starting to think of some too. And when you do, I really encourage you to get a notebook and write them down because they are fleeting and you're probably having some amazing thoughts, even like in the middle of the night, coming up with something. If you go to the restroom, write it down. Okay, affiliate marketing. That is one that I think is a longer game too. I think it's worth it though. Like if you have Amazon links, they do take quite a big following to start seeing some revenue from that. But I would say if you're doing a blog or if you're reviewing any kind of product or something for your tutoring business, do it. It couldn't hurt. So setting up the account is free and it could really pay off down the road. So that's what affiliate marketing means. Maybe you're asked to review a product and then you get a cut of it every time they sell one. So guest speaking, I think that is something we don't think about enough. I have a friend named Amber. She's the burned-in teacher and she does guest speaking all the time. And I think as teachers that we have really excellent speaking abilities and there are so many topics that you're probably really passionate about and you never thought that you could go speak on, but you really could. Just like I'm doing right now. I mean, I'm not speaking in front of a packed hall of people, but I'm passionate about multiple streams of income for tutors and I'm talking to you about it. So just kind of get your wheels thinking about things that you could talk about if you like public speaking. Of course, if you don't, then obviously that would not be a good one. Okay, last but not least, college courses. I talked about this in one of my YouTube videos and one of my followers asked if I would make a more detailed video, and I'm going to, at some point this summer, make a video on how to teach a college course, especially as an elementary teacher. I teach 2 college courses. One is a graduate level and one is undergrad. They are very similar. One is human development, one is child and adolescent psychology, and they basically follow the same thread, except one goes birth through death and the other one is birth through adolescence, and graduate versus undergrad. I think that is a great way to make extra income. That is more active. It's not passive. I mean, you're going to have to teach the course, but you might find as a K through 12 teacher that you really like engaging with college level students, and it kind of gives you that outlet of getting to talk to older people, especially me as a first grade teacher. When I'm with little kids all day, I actually look forward to my college courses because I get to talk to older people. And I always tease them that I'm like the stay-at-home parent waiting for the UPS guy to come to the door because that's how I feel when I get there. I'm like, grown-ups, I can talk to you. So I promised to do a YouTube video about that this summer. I think I could really go in depth on that and how I got started doing that and how I think it would be a great stream of income for you. Okay, so maybe at this point you're thinking, but Molly, that won't work for me. I want you to just stop right there because that is a limited mindset. And I want you to really start thinking about things that could work for you and shift your mindset. So why not change your mindset to why not me? Once you do that, I think the power is back in your own hands and you're not giving it away to other people. I'm sure you felt this way before where you've had an idea and you've shared it with someone and they're like, oh, why would you want to do that? And then it just is really defeating. We've all been there. You have to remember that maybe they're just in another frame of mind and you're excited about something and you just need to get the ball rolling with it. And if that's something where you have an idea and you want to send me a direct message on Instagram and ask me what I think of it, then by all means, please do that, because I love talking about business ideas and ways to make your life better in general. So send me a message. So how do you get started? It can seem really overwhelming. I gave you a bunch of things on the list that you could do, and you might be feeling a little bit overwhelmed, which I totally understand and I get that. So in the workbook today, which is going to be in our Facebook group, it's already there, and I'll have it linked on my website as well. There's a spot where you can do a brain dump of ideas. So I want you to start thinking of all the ideas that maybe you've ever had that could tie in to what you're already doing or what you're dreaming about. And then once you've made that really big list, set the timer for 20 minutes and put all the distractions away, making the list. Once you've made the list, I want you to choose the one that just jumps out on the page the most to you. And once you have that one picked, like I'll use the example of blogging. You need to show up consistently. So that means having some kind of content strategy where you're planning every single week or every other week. I always encourage you to do weekly or bi-weekly kinds of content in your niche. So show up consistently, because if you're just blogging every 6 months, then it's not going to get you anywhere. And be passionate about it. So that stream that you're picking needs to be something that you really, really are excited about and that you could talk about for hours. Like if you heard somebody from the distance at a coffee shop mention something that you're passionate about and it makes you just want to run over there and talk about it, that's what I'm talking about with being passionate. Or else if you're bored with it, then other people are going to be bored and they're going to feel your energy on it. Okay, so I just mentioned this earlier, but for your homework, use the workbook provided and do a brain dump of all the ways that you can start your own multiple streams of income. I want you to post your idea on Instagram, put it out there in the universe, let people know what you're going to be doing, or you can post it on Facebook too. And I've been using the hashtag Tutorpreneur challenge so I can check in with people and see what you guys are up to and what you're posting about. And then it's a good way to cheer on your tutoring friends as well. So I think it's a really great place, Facebook, our Tutorpreneur tribe, and our Instagram community to make really good connections. I just saw somebody post today in another online tutoring group a job listing for a specific tutoring job. So I plan to do a post on that soon, because I think that's where you could be finding a lot of jobs and connecting with other tutors. So I hope this training was so helpful today. And if I don't see any more questions in the chat, but if you have any more questions after you watch this, say you're watching it later on, please just send me a direct message on Instagram and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about what to include in a contract. I'm very excited about that because we're going to do a little bit of work on creating boundaries and talking about why that's so important. And I have a really big announcement at the end of our training tomorrow. So I'm hoping you guys join me live at 12 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. And if you want to go back and watch any of these videos, again, they're on my website, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching.